जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे श्री श्री गौर निताय की श्री श्री राधा गोविंद देव श्रीमन महाप्रभु की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः आजानुलंबित भुजो कनकावदातौ संकीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ वन्दे श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंद सहोदितौ गौडोदये पुष्पवन्तौ चित्रौ शम्दौ तमोनुदौ जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणुरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् Hare Krishna. So sorry to interrupt our class of Sadhya Prabhu. You all were completely absorbed in this class. Acharya told me that we are going to have two parts of the class today, one part by him, one part by myself. So this is see the words. So 14 and 15 already Sadhya has read them, but I am just quickly reading them so that Shri Shuka Uvacha Nishamyetam Bhagavataha Krishnasya Kuntamedasaha Vachoduran Vayam Vipraha Tushnimasan Brahmadhyaha. Shukadeva Goswami said, hearing such unfathomable words from the unlimitedly wise Lord Krishna, the learned Brahmanas remained silent, their minds bewildered. What is it that Krishna spoke that made these Brahmanas become stunned and become silent and their minds bewildered? So the verse before this is the famous verse, Yasyatma Buddhir Kunape Tridhatuki Swadi Kalatkavishu Bhoma Ijjati Yatkirta Buddhi Salilena Karhijit Janeshu Abhigyeshu Seva Gopara. So that verse says basically if somebody identifies with one's own body or with the identifies with the body of the bodily relationships like relatives and friends, or one is identifying with the place of birth, or one identifies with place of birth, or one goes to a holy place simply for sightseeing and not for associating with saintly persons. Uh, So then such a person is compared to a donkey or a cow, like that Krishna said. So why the Brahmanas were a bit shocked? One one reason is Krishna actually is praising the Brahmanas and sages and saintly persons, and he is representing all the kings who have assembled there, and he is telling them that if the kings are just coming for a religious ritual to the holy place without wanting to take the association of saintly persons, then they would be compared to a donkey or a cow, like that, ass or a cow, like that he says. So Krishna, they knew very well, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Lord Rama and Lord Krishna appeared in this planet, even the Brahmanas and saints would offer them obeisances. Generally, saints would give only blessings for other kings. But for Krishna and Rama, they bowed down. So that Prabhupada writes in many purports in the Bhagavatam. You will read that. Generally, they won't bow down to any king. They are not obliged to bow down. Brahmanas are supposed to be in the role of a father, blessing them. But for Krishna and Rama, they bow down. So naturally, they knew that Krishna's position is transcendental. He is just representing the kings and speaking like this. So they were therefore a bit disturbed by Krishna taking a humble position as one of the kings who have arrived at the holy place, and subtly hinting to the kings that don't just come to a holy place to go for sightseeing or for taking a dip in the holy ponds, but go to the holy place for associating with saintly persons. That is one reason why they were little, their minds were bewildered and they remained silent. Another reason is if you are sometimes praised, you become overwhelmed and you have difficulty in quickly responding back. One time, my spiritual master's god brother had come to Chopadi temple, and Maharaj glorified him for 3-4 minutes, and the audience were saying Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol very loudly. And then this god brother was like taken aback, he was like shocked. He didn't know how to respond back because whatever Maharaj said about him was correct. He had done great things in his life, and Maharaj just listed one after another. And then he told Maharaj, Maharaj, you are embarrassing me with your glorification. Like that he told Maharaj. Maharaj told him, if you are embarrassed by my glorification, that is the success of my glorification. That he was telling. So it was a very beautiful exchange. One time, His Holiness Jayadut Swami Maharaj was sitting on the dais with His Holiness Ranath Maharaj. And Ranath Swami Maharaj said, when such a great personality as Jayadut Swami, who is an authority in representing Srila Prabhupada, is sitting next to me, who am I? I am simply a fool, he said. And Jayadut Swami said, yes, you correctly said, you are a fool because you are a flower like Vaishnava. And that he told, he commented. So here also, the saintly persons are being praised by Krishna. So therefore, they are embarrassed. They don't know how to reply back. The verses prior to that, Yasyatma Buddha Kuna Petri Dhatuke, there are 3-4 more verses where Krishna talks about the importance of respecting and valuing Brahmanas and Vaishnavas over simply doing the rituals like chanting some mantras or worshipping the deity uh, or performing some pujas and everything. Uh, so that is one thing that Krishna speaks in those few verses. So that's why the next verse also you will see here. For some time, the sages pondered the Supreme Lord's behavior, which resembled that of a subordinate living being. They concluded that he was acting in this way to instruct the people in general. Thus they smiled and spoke to him, the spiritual master of the universe, Krishna Mande Jagadguru. Isn't it? So Krishna's speech is always mystical for most people. Prabhupada writes in one purport, Krishna's speech is mystical to most people, but Krishna is merciful to his pure devotees. So what is the difference between the two? Merciful means pure devotees can fathom what the Lord is speaking. They can grasp it. But most people are bewildered and mystified by his speech and behavior also. Like there is one verse, the third canto. I mean, sorry, this, at the door of Vaikuntha. Krishna prasada sumukam sprihani yadama vreda baloka. Sorry. Prema baloka kalaya hridi samsparishantam. Like that is the verse. Krishna prasada sumukham sprihani yadama. It says that when Lord Vishnu arrived at the door of Vaikuntha along with the goddess of fortune Lakshmi standing by his side, when they both arrived seeing what is the quarrel going on at the gate between the Kumaras, four Kumaras and Jai Vijay. Lord became a little curious. And why did the Lord come to the door? Acharyas, all the Acharyas come with their pad and pen. Lot of commentaries come there. One of the Acharyas has said, the Lord thought there is a lack of bliss at the door of Vaikuntha. Because where there is spiritual bliss, devotees cannot quarrel with one another. Devotees will have mutual respect for each other, admiration for each other, adoration, appreciation will be there. So Lord thought, if there is a clash at the door, there is a lack of bliss, spiritual bliss there. So therefore I should go there, he thought. Why I should go there? Because the Lord's lotus feet is always carrying the honey dripping from his lotus feet of his name, form, qualities, pastimes and activities, which are actually the source of ocean of bliss. So the Lord thought, if I go to the door, by experiencing this bliss, they will give up their enmity with one another. So therefore he presented himself at the door. Like for example, once a life member was yelling, why this fellow is not giving me the room, life member room. I told him, put some 2 gulab jams into his mouth. I told him. So immediately one devotee ran and brought some gulab jamun. As soon as he ate gulab jamun, he cooled down. स्वामी जी इतना ही पूछा कि रूम क्यों नहीं दे रहे हैं, इतना ही पूछा हमने. Very coolly he spoke after that. You know, so you have to cool down angry people, isn't it? So Lord went with his lotus feet for cooling down these two parties who were quarreling at the entrance of Vaikuntha. Not only that, the Lord took Lakshmi with him. Why? Because as soon as Lakshmi came with Narayana, the four Kumaras, they saw the goddess of fortune and immediately they became sober and gentle in speech and well behaved. But Prabhupada says the brahmacharis are very well behaved in front of Matajis. Prabhupada says. Because Matajis are like mothers. The child in front of the mother cannot do too much naughtiness. Like Krishna, if she shows naughtiness, Yashoda will show a stick. So as soon as Kumara saw Lakshmi, immediately they became docile, very calm, cool, collected, and sober and grave in their speech and behavior. Therefore, Lord took Lakshmi with him also. And then the Lord, when he went, there was an umbrella above his head carried by his servants. Some of the servants were fanning him, and they were also coming along with him to the entrance of Vaikuntha. And the Lord looked at the Kumaras and he smiled. So the Kumaras were amazed because Kumaras thought that we have spelled out a curse just now upon Jai and Vijay. But the Lord is looking and smiling at us. What does that mean? That means he is not upset with us. If you look at someone and smile, that's not a sign that you are angry with them. The smile is an indication that you are happy with them. So Kumaras became pacified. Okay, our anger was justified and the Lord is smiling and so everything is all right. But then his smile at the Kumaras created a kind of confusion and anxiety in whose mind? Jai and Vijay. They thought, oh, Lord is smiling at them. That means it indirectly hints that he is supporting them, which means he is upset with us. They thought like that. Then Lord turned to Jai Vijay and smiled at them also. And that is why everything became very mystical. Very difficult. Now both the parties are confused now. At least earlier Kumaras were thinking that Lord is smiling at us. Now Lord is smiling at his servants also. So now both parties became confused. Who is he happy with and who is he upset with? No? So this is why Lord's behavior is very mystical. But Srila Prabhupada, being a pure devotee, he has decoded the Lord's behavior. Prabhupada says that why did Lord smile at Kumaras? Because they are guests. For example, in your temple, say you have a policy, everybody will get only 2 gulab jamuns. Everybody is given limited gulab jamuns. Radheshyam comes and takes 6 gulab jamuns. Will Acharya scold me? He cannot scold. Why? Because I am coming from outside as a special guest. Correct, no? Isn't it? Any of you here, will you scold a guest if they take extra gulab jamuns? Will you scold? Why you won't scold? If he is one of the devotees in an ashram, you will control him. Hey, only 2. Even if he demands little more, you will only give him the syrup only little bit. Isn't it? Isn't it? Huh? But if me or Sadagi Prabhu comes here, we took some 2 or 4 extra without knowing the limit. Huh? People will talk amongst themselves, but they won't say anything. So similarly, the Lord actually smiled at them to teach the Jai Vijay that even if a guest is little angry, a guest is Atiti. Atiti Devo Bhava. You should treat them like God. They deserve to be treated with utmost respect. So Lord, that's why He smiled at them. And then you may have a question, then why did He smile at Jai Vijay then? If He's unhappy with the behavior of Jai Vijay, then why did He smile at them? Because what was going on in Lord's mind was, these poor 2 servants of mine, they have served me millions of years. One small mistake they commit. Why should I make a big fuss about it? You know, everybody may commit mistake sometime or other. When you lit up a fire, there is also smoke. Similarly, in our behavior, sometimes there may be some error in the behavior. But we shouldn't make a mole into a mountain. Like that, Lord decided to forgive them. So once you forgive somebody, then you can smile at them. If you have not forgiven somebody, you will be sniffing. As soon as you look at the person, you'll be twisting the eyebrows. Why did you do like this? Isn't it? So you can't smile at someone with whom you are upset and you are not satisfied with their behavior. You can't smile at them. But the Lord smiled at Jai Vijay because he could forgive them. He has a very big heart. He forgave even someone who kicked on his chest, isn't it? What to speak of forgiving his own servants. So Lord's behavior is very mystical. He is a very grave personality, supreme personality. And that is the reason why Lakshmi never gets tired of serving him. Because many times we are so blunt in our, likely in our speech and behavior, that the rasa between us and others sometimes gets dried up because of a straightforwardness. But the Lord's behavior is very mystical, which keeps always the juice of sweetness in exchange with all his devotees, including Lakshmi, who never leaves his lotus feet. She's always massaging his lotus feet. So that's why the sages pondered about his behavior, and you know, Lord behaved like as if a subordinate king to the Brahmanas. So they smiled and spoke to him after that, like that. They said, yeah. So Vishitavyata. So Lord Krishna is now representing the other kings and he's speaking like that. So one small notes I want to share with you. You can see this, I can make it bigger if you want. Bigger? See, I've given a heading here. Respect the living beings and devotees and not just the deity form in the temple. This is the main theme that Krishna is speaking in this series of verses. So it is true that we have to lovingly worship the deities in the temple. But if we cannot see the same deity in the heart of all the devotees who are living with us, because by the side of the Jiva, the Paramatma is also standing, isn't it? In every living body, there is a resident of the body which is Jiva, and there is a president. which is super soul. So one should see both. Krishna says that, isn't it? Where he says in the 13th chapter, he says, Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidiyate evam yovetti tam prahuhu kshetrajnam iti tadvidah kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yattad jnanam matam mama. In these two verses, the first verse he says, this body is called as a field, and who is cultivating kaunteya kshetram, this is called kshetram. This body is called field. And evam yoveti tam prahuhu kshetrajnam iti tadvidah. And the knower of this field is kshetrajna. Like every one of you sitting here, you know about what's happening in your body. Correct, no? You may be hungry, or you may have a headache, or you are having some plan going on in your mind. That only you know. Your neighbor doesn't know. Because he is kshetrajna in whose body? His body. And you are kshetrajna in your body. Kshetra means field. Jna means knower. So you are all knowers of your own bodies. Whereas Krishna says, Kshetrajnam cha api mam vidhi. Cha means I am also a Kshetrajna, he is saying. Where? Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. In all the bodies, he is saying. I am present in all the bodies. So Prabhupada says, if somebody says cha, I am also staying in that room. If somebody says, what is the implication by that? Say, for example, Acharya Pose allotted only me to stay in one room alone. Will I say, I am also staying in that room? Will I say? If I am saying I am also staying means what is the meaning? Already someone is staying. So this is a proof that, there are two souls in the body. If anybody, Mayavadi comes to you, catch them, give them, show them these two verses. Kshetrajnam cha api. Not only cha, api also he says, additionally. Also, Kshetrajnam cha api mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. I am present in all the bodies. Just like a king allots 1,000 acres of land to 1,000 farmers. Now every farmer is allowed to own one acre. But all the 1,000 acres are owned by the king. So Krishna is like that. So he is also present in all the bodies. Now, when we look at any living being, we should see both. Here is a jiva coming, but along with him his father is also coming, the super soul. Imagine a father and son are walking on the road. You go and give a pinch to the son. Will father be happy? Father will catch you immediately. In fact, even if you pinch the father, he may not mind it. Most fathers, correct? No? But if you pinch his son, he is doubly angry. Any of you have seen when a dog gives birth to a puppy, you have to be very careful. If you try to do anything to the puppy, same with cow and calf also. If a cow has given birth to a new calf, if somebody goes to play with the calf, cow will get wild. Generally, cows are very mild-natured, animals. But there is one occasion where they are very fierce and very angry. When? Huh? When you meddle with the newly born child, tender child. Because the mother cow feels that this is a very tender child, and the child requires my protection, my attention, my maintenance. If anybody will do any harm to my child, I will not leave them. They get very, very ferocious, whether it is a dog or a cow. Same manner, the Lord also feels for anyone who's trying to become his devotee. When somebody is becoming his, and all the more so for those who are his pure devotees, for whom Lord is the life and soul. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam. In that verse, Baladev Vidyabhushan says, for the pure devotees, Lord is like life itself, exactly like for a fish, the water is life. If you take fish out of water, the fish will die. Similarly, if you take a devotee out of association where he can do Shravanam and Kirtanam, he will perish. He says, I can't live without it. This is my food. You don't give him any other facility, no problem. But hearing and chanting is his life and soul for the devotee. So, therefore, such devotees for whom the Lord is the master, the Lord is the lover, Lord is the maintainer, Lord is the protector, and they are totally dependent on him, like a helpless child, like Ambarish Maharaj. Lord Vishnu felt pity for him. He said, my dear king, you are king of the whole country, but you have no security, no protection. systems. You don't have a bulletproof car. What kind of king are you? Ambarish said, but my dear Lord, you are there for me. Why should I worry? Lord said, that is my problem because you have put trust in me. I have to protect you. So I will send the Sudarshan Chakra to always keep revolving above your kingdom, above your palace. Anytime anyone will cause any type of harm to you, immediately Sudarshan will come and attack them. So Lord had arranged for a constant vigil. Wherever the king is walking, the king would just walk to the temple, go here, go there. He never had any fear at all, because he had developed such kind of confidence in the Lord's lotus feet. So he was. So therefore, the Sudarshan was always revolving. As soon as Durvasa created that big demon, immediately Sudarshan came and cut off the demon. And then next moment, the Sudarshan started chasing Durvasa Muni. You will see that. So Lord actually feels sympathy, compassion, pity for such pure devotees who have totally become sold out to Him. You see, there are 5 weaklings in this world who have to be protected. Each of them is to be protected for one reason. I will tell you, for example, a child has to be protected because child doesn't know the dangers. Like sometimes as one small kid I saw in the train, he took mother's handbag like this, he took and started going very coolly running away from the mother in the train. Of course, the mother and father are coming behind him and they caught him after some time and brought him back. He's taking and going as if he's going to market to buy something. He doesn't know the danger in train. If you go like this and go near the door, it is very dangerous, isn't it? So child doesn't know the danger. Therefore, child requires protection. You will see that. Same manner, cow also is a very, very innocent creature. It requires protection. A cow is such a simple animal. You give food at a certain time, she will eat and then she'll give milk. Prabhupada says, if a farmer even brings a knife to slit the throat of the cow will be smiling, thinking that he's joking with me. Prabhupada says. The cow doesn't seriously take that he'll kill me. He's my master, how will he kill me? She has so much confidence. It's a very simple creature. Prabhupada says. So therefore she requires protection. If it is a tiger or a lion, they don't need protection because they can just tear apart anybody. If anybody comes near tiger or lion, they will run away. Correct? But a cow requires protection. In the same manner, a female requires protection. When she is a small little girl, she has to be protected by her father because physically the female body is weaker comparatively to man's body. Similarly, when she is married, she has to be physically and emotionally protected by the husband. And then when she grows older, she needs the son to take care of her, isn't it? And she has to be protected and she should be protected to preserve her chastity, and no man should exploit her body. And so therefore they have to be protected also because they have a weaker body. One boy was arguing, but Prabhuji, there are also weightlifters amongst the ladies. Yes, and that may be an exception. Correct, no? That may be exception. But most of the time you will see if a Mataji is coming with her husband, she will tell the husband, please put the suitcase in the top. She's not going to put it herself. They require a man to help her. Physically, they are weaker. And physically and emotionally, they have to be protected also. And the same manner, Brahmanas, why they have to be protected? Because they never worry about tomorrow. That's the problem. They never save money. If you ask them, what about your food tomorrow? I don't know. If Krishna sends, I will eat. If Krishna doesn't send, I'll drink water and keep quiet. So that is Brahmana. Brahmana is always satisfied in whatever situation Krishna puts in. Therefore, the other members in society, they should worry about Brahmins. So, this Brahmana is studying scripture and preaching and doesn't bother about his food, clothing or shelter. So let us arrange some facility for him by giving him charity. So Brahmanas are maintained by the charity of others. Yeah. So therefore, the Lord feels sympathy for Brahmanas and Vaishnavas who are called Bhudeva. Bhudeva means they are earthly gods. Why they are called earthly gods? Because Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, they are completely non-fruitive, and they don't have anything to hoard. They don't stock land or anything like that in this world. They don't store anything, nor do they have any material ambitions, nor do they have any enemies, enmity with anybody. They are simply well-wishers of every creature, whether it be a human being or animal or a bird. They are simply well-wishers of all creatures who are all, they see everybody as a part and parcel of God. And they behave exactly like God. The way Krishna behaves, that's the way the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas behave. Uh, they have, their heart is full of compassion, and they don't have any enmity. They don't have any revengeful thoughts or anything towards anybody. They are controlled in their emotions. They are self-controlled, and their mind is under control. They are free from lust, anger, greed, malice, revenge, and all these things. And they don't make unhealthy comparisons, thinking, "Oh, he has so much money, I don't have." They don't think, and they don't do such things. So, therefore, in the Vedic times, many people would come to such Brahmins to seek justice. They would come to them. They would ask them, because you are a transparent personality, you represent God so nicely. So, you please tell me, amongst us, who is right, who is wrong? They would ask. So, therefore, they need to be Brahmanas need to be maintained and by offering charity, and they should be taken advantage spiritually. That's very important. See, there are four categories: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Shudras are famous for their loyalty, and Vaishyas are known for their morality, and Kshatriyas are known for their religiosity, and Brahmanas are known for their spirituality. Each of them is popular for these things. Popular means they have to follow this. If they follow this, they'll be popular for this. Which means a Shudra should not steal, or a Shudra should not speak lies. He should be loyal to the master. So if he does that, then he becomes a famous Shudra also. Similarly, Vaishyas, they should not exorbitantly keep profits and want to loot the mass of people. That should not be their goal. They should not cheat. So then they are moral. Then morality they follow. And morality also is followed when Vaishyas give charity to the Brahmins. They don't just accumulate money, they also give charity. Then they follow morality. And Kshatriyas follow religiosity by conducting yajnas for the welfare of all the praja. So they follow religiosity. And Brahmanas follow spirituality. So therefore here Krishna was telling indirectly to the kings that you may be very religious. So religiosity sometimes make us stick to blind rituals without knowing the essence. That's one problem with religiosity. Religiosity is more ritualistic sometimes. Like for example, we put up this Gita Jayanti Yajna. 1,000 people would come. At the same time, you tell them, instead of Yajna, we have a Gita class on Gita Jayanti Day evening. Please come. Do you think they'll come and sit? Nobody will come. Because when you do a Yajna, the high sounding mantras are very pleasing to their ears. They think the Brahmanas are reciting some very powerful mantras, invoking the sacred fire, which is the tongue of Vishnu. They are offering oblations there, offering the grains and silk and everything. So they are more pleased with that. So that means they are more inclined to ritual or spiritual. Ritual. Therefore, Krishna told them that you're going to a holy place. Don't be just ritualistic. Sit down and hear from the saintly persons who can speak words of wisdom, which can cleanse our mind of the impurities like proprietorship, controllership, enjoyership, false ego. It can purify and then can awaken love for God and love for all. So that's why Krishna indirectly told them. Here also, what Kapila is saying, please repeat. Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma vastitah sada tam avajnaya mam martyah kurute archa vidambanam. See, aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma avastita sada. I am always residing in the heart of every living being as a super soul. Tam avajnaya mam martyah. But the fellows who offend the jiva, at the same time, they respect me by archa vidambana, by archa, kurte archa. They are worshipping the deity form in the temple, but they disrespect the other living beings. That is vidambanam. Like that he is saying, you see. I, the soul of all beings, I am always situated in all beings. He who disrespects me in all beings performs false worship of my deity form. See, please read this, one of you who has the mic with you. Yeah. Offense?
Offense generally stems from disrespect to the great devotees. Those such devotees are difficult to see. Many exist.
See, it's not that devotees are not there. Devotees are all around us. But due to our blind sight, we are not able to see devotees as
Devotees.
devotees. Here comes a very, very important point. In ISKCON, we have the greatest opulence of being surrounded by hundreds of devotees all around us. So, we may not know the value of a devotee. If you see, there's a famous verse ब्रह्मणानां सहस्रेभ्यो सत्रयाजी विशिष्यते सत्रयाजी सहस्रेभ्यो सर्ववेदान्तपारगः सर्ववेदान्तवित्कोट्या विष्णुभक्तो विशिष्यते, he says. And then amongst the Vishnu Bhaktas, Ekanta Bhaktas are very rare, he says. So the four lines is saying, Brahmananam Sahasrabhyo, if you take 1,000 Brahmins, one who can lead the sacrifice and make all others follow him, such a Brahmanas are very rare. Because that Brahmana knows by heart lot of mantras. One who is leading the sacrifice. He is like the leader of the whole team of Brahmanas. Satrayaji. And amongst the Satrayaji Brahmins, if you take 1,000 of them, one who knows the meaning of the Vedas and knows the conclusion of the Vedas, which is Vedanta Sutra, then that Brahman is extraordinary. Not all Brahmins know. Many Brahmins actually chant four Vedas. Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharva Veda, they chant. Taittiriya Upanishad, they will chant. But Vedanta, many haven't studied. But somebody has studied Vedanta and knows the meaning of Vedanta. That Brahmana is even more superior. And then he's saying, Sarva Vedanta Vidkotya Vishnu Bhakto Vishishyate, he says. Amongst the Vedanta Paragas, if one becomes a Vishnu Bhakta, devotee of the Supreme Lord, which means one who firmly trusts that the Supreme Lord is not impersonal, Supreme Lord is a person, and he resides in the abode called Vaikuntha, along with all his devotees, eternally. I am also a part of that spiritual world. I have to go back there and be with the Lord, rendering service to him. And he has a very firm faith in the personal service to Lord. And the same Lord in this world descends as Archa here. Archa Vigraha, one of the 5 expansions of the Lord. And if I serve this Archa and develop love for him, at the time of death, I will go back to him, eternally serve him. So one who has firm faith in all these things is called as a Vishnu Bhakta. It's very rare. And amongst Vishnu Bhaktas, there are Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttama. Those who are pure Vaishnavas, Kevala Bhakta, Ekanta Bhakta, those Bhaktas are extremely rare, he says. So, when we are living in the community of devotees, if we get into fault finding, criticizing, blaspheming, and always justifying our actions to be right and others' actions to be wrong, we are in a very diseased condition. It is a diseased state of mind. Actually, some people say, if outside people do this, it's all right. But if a devotee does it, how can they do? Like that they ask. But actually, that means they are more envious of devotees. Because who are the devotees? Devotees have been recruited from just outside only. Just now they have become devotees, correct? Now, devotees are like, especially upcoming devotees are like toddler children. If somebody is saying, why the child is a toddler? Why can't he walk properly? The toddler means he's a toddler. He's just now trying to walk. He was earlier only crawling. Now at least he is getting up. He's trying to walk. Eventually he will develop strength in his legs. Then he will be able to walk very firmly, very nicely, properly. It will take a while. But if you see some shortcoming in the devotees, it's not a it's not a very good sign. Who should find fault? If you are a spiritual guardian, then you have the right to find fault. Say you go to a hospital, there are 40, 50 patients are sitting outside and there's a doctor sitting inside. One by one, the patients go and show to doctor and take medicine and come. So when you go to such a hospital, do you go and ask everybody, what is your disease? Tell me, what's your problem? You go and ask everybody? You don't worry about others' disease. You worry about whose? Your own disease. And there is only one person who has a record of all the people's disease. Who is it? Doctor. So he will keep record and you go and tell about yourself and you take medicine and push off. You have no business with other people. Similarly, temple is a hospital. We have come. And all our records are with the spiritual master or the authorities. They know who is who. And they are giving them service. They are giving them rectification program for reforming their weaknesses and everything. So other devotees, we have no business to talk about other devotees' shortcomings. If you found some shortcoming, you have the right to go to the authorities and report to them. I found this devotee is doing this. It's not appropriate or something. You report to them, and then your job is Done. Over. Not that you just go around telling everybody, hey, this devotee is like this. There are some devotees who have a very big mouth. They will find one fault in a devotee and they will go and tell 100 people. Very, very bad quality it is. Once His Holiness Gaur Krishna Maharaj came to Pune, he was telling that if a cat passes stool in corner of a hall, what will you do? Immediately remove the stool and throw it away and throw some phenol or Dettol in that place and wash it. And people come and ask you, crowding around you, asking what happened here. You can say nothing happened here. That's all. You just go and sit for the program. That's the way you should behave. He said, not that a cat passes a stool, you pick it up in your hand and anybody asks you, give them little. Please take. See how badly it is smelling. You don't distribute like that. You are selling. So, in the same manner, if a devotee has a flaw, can you help the devotee to get rid of the flaw? Then you can go to the devotee and say, Prabhu, you have a little problem and I have a method to rectify this flaw. Here is a method. You are a wonderful devotee, but just like apple has a small black patch or something, you take a knife, like that, you remove that. And then apple becomes very nice after that. Correct, no? That portion you cut it, finished. Similarly, can you cut the unwanted portion of a devotee's personality and then help the devotee? Then you are going and talking to the devotee is meaningful. Not that you go around telling everybody this devotee is like this. So, like some devotee is dozing and chanting, you click a photo and then you send it in WhatsApp to many, many devotees. Say, Prabhu, I saw this devotee sleeping and chanting. So, what is your intention then? You want to assassinate the character of the devotee, spoil his good reputation, or you want to help the devotee? If your intention is to help, then Lord will be pleased with you. That's the Madhyamadhikari. Madhyamadhikari and Kanishadhikari, what is the difference? Kanishadhikari points mistakes but doesn't give solution. Madhyamadhikari points mistakes and gives solution. He tells the devotee, Prabhu, you are a wonderful devotee. If you just do this one small thing, small change, you will be even more wonderful. Because Madhyamadhikari wants to see the devotee blossom and flourish. He doesn't want to see the devotee perish and be destroyed. So, Kanishadhikari means he delights in others' faults. You know, he sees some devotees doing, see, he's sleeping now and chanting, ha ha, like that is laugh. Just like somebody slipping and falling when they are walking on the road, there's a banana peel. What should you do? Should you laugh at them? Already they have fallen, their leg is paining, hip is paining. What you do? Go and lift them up. That's why he's saying this. Read that.
In order to avoid offense to them, one should pay respects to all living entities, thinking that the Lord is present in all of them. Without doing so, even worshipping the deity forms of the Lord will not give any result. Since his Supreme Lord Kapila then speaks in 6 verses somewhat angrily out of affection to benefit his devotee who does not respect all beings.
Yeah, see, it's very amazing. Lord has an angry affection for his devotees, especially those. What is that angry affection? Sometimes the Lord is very affectionate to his devotee, but the devotee sometimes is critical of others. He's a fault finder. He's blaspheming. Then Lord becomes angry with the devotee. Why? In order to rectify that wrong behavior in his devotee. Just like a mother sometimes may want to see the child study well instead of playing all day. She shows some anger towards the child. Similarly, Lord Kapila being the Supreme Lord, he has affection for devotees, but somewhat angrily he speaks in order to warn them. Hey, you are my devotee, be careful. Don't get into wrong track. Just like Dhruva Maharaj was about to wipe out the Yakshas. So Swayambhuvana came and said, Samyaccha Rosha Badram Te. Oh, auspicious Dhruva, stop this war. Appease your anger. He said, it's not befitting you. You are a pure devotee. You have seen Lord Vishnu eye to eye. And you have become glorious. All the devatas showered flowers upon you. You are a glorious devotee. Now you are becoming excessively angry, trying to wipe out the yakshas. This is not befitting you. Nasmatat kula uchitam tata. In our lineage, no one has done like this. You should not do this. So, at the right time, affectionately, at the same time, very firmly, our Swami Mano is warning Dhruva. So, especially those who are managers, leaders, we have to learn to combine these two traits, boldness and sensitivity, courage and considerate behavior, polite and firm, affectionate at the same time, very strong instruction we should be able to give. So, These two traits are important if we want to rectify the faults in others. Yeah. Yeah, read
In
further.
these verses, disrespect, disregard, hatred, and criticism are forbidden. This person performs imitation worship of my deity forms, Archa Vidambanam.
Yeah. Yo mam sarveshu bhuteshu santamatmanam ishwaram hitvarcham bhajate maudhyat basmaniyeva juhoti saha. Yeah.
He who worships the deity while rejecting me, the Lord being present in all beings, simply makes oblation into the ashes instead of fire.
Yeah.
Because he is the master, Kapila, to teach his devotees, scolds them. Similarly, he calls the worshipper a donkey if he is attached to his land.
Yeah. See, being a master, the master has the right to rectify the behavior of the servant. Just like Lord Vishnu told the Kumaras that, my servants have shown, anger towards you by twisting their eyebrows and making their nose stouter, and bruva kutilaya. And in this way, you four of you felt that Bhagavad Pratikul Shila, they have acted against the behavior of their master. Because the Kumara said, your master Vishnu is always smiling. He is always friendly and compassionate towards all creatures. But you two guys, Jai Vijay, you don't resemble the behavior of your master. You don't represent properly. They had said. So that time Vishnu said, if a servant does not behave properly and brings bad reputation to the master, he is like a kind of leprosy on the skin. Imagine some people have the white leprosy. You've seen that on the face or the skin. Does it look good? It's like an eyesore. Huh? It's like an eyesore. So the Lord said, such servant is actually a blemish on the master. That's one thing the Lord said. The second thing the Lord said, because I have accepted them as my servant, and because I have shown them affection, when they commit mistake, then I also should take a share of the mistake. Therefore, if four of you order me, I am ready to even lop off my two arms, if that would please you. Like that the Lord said. So here comes a very important point. So I am president of a temple. In my temple, if somebody does some blunder, the immediately the complaint will come to the president. They will say that, see, one of your fellows has done this. Correct now? So the blemish comes on the president also. I may say that, no, I never did it. I say, okay, you didn't do it, but he belongs to your temple. You didn't control him from doing it. Huh? Isn't it? You should have controlled them from doing that wrong thing. So they will catch us also. Therefore, the Lord said, I am also ready to accept a part of the punishment. The Lord said. So, therefore, because such a good master who is willing to share the punishment, he also has the right to chastise. You understand? No? See, if your master is a responsible master, he has a right to chastise you. On the other hand, if your master is not responsible, there are some fellows, don't ask me how irresponsible they can be. You call them on phone, they won't be available. You write an email as if it's like a stone thrown in a well. You don't get any response for years together. And you go to their office, it will always be locked. You ask the people, where is he? They will say, we don't know. Never approachable. And even if you somehow catch him on a particular day, he is available, he will say that, I don't know about it. Don't bring small things to me. Go to the local people, like that, he will say. There are very irresponsible fellows, although they may be holding a position. So, because when a person is irresponsible like that, then he has no right to chastise his people. That you earn the right to chastise if you take responsibility for the people under your care. Why? For example, if you take responsibility for someone in your care, they will also get fame, correct? No? Because you have trained them, you have polished them, you have molded them in a certain way. When they adopt those pure principles that you have taught them, they are going to get a lot of fame by your training. Is it true or not? Yeah. So because they are getting fame, so when they bring ill fame, you have the right to chastise them. That's what the Lord is saying. Here, Chakravarti Thakur is saying, because he is master, Kapila, to teach his devotees, scolds them. Similarly, he calls the worship. Okay, like that he says. And then, I read this one.
Sridhar Swami explains he does not behave well with the devotees and even with other people.
There are some people, first of all, they are very critical with devotees. They find fault with devotees, small things. They make a mole into a mountain. And then when they go in the outside world, they find fault with everybody. It's called Jana Aparad, we call it. Jana Aparad means like you are going in the train, you comment about people. Look at this sense gratifier, how he's eating. You know, look at this sense gratifier. Morning time, he's sleeping till 8 o'clock. I am getting up for Mangalati, he is not getting up. So in this way, one will be very critical of even the common people also. He begins with devotees, then he criticizes common people. Then such people's mouth become filled with criticisms and their head becomes surrounded by krodha samskaras. So when we are covered by a aura of anger, that's a very dangerous sign it is. Ramachandra Puri was like that. He was covered by krodha samskaras. So therefore, when he left the assembly of Vaishnavas, they felt as if a big stone from the head fell off to the ground. They are relieved. And devotees thought like that. Because he was super critical about devotees. First, he will feed the devotees. Devotees will say, enough, 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 they will say, but he'll feed them a lot. And then they will think that prasadam should not be wasted. So they will complete it. Then he will tell them, you Vaishnavas, you talk big, big lectures, but you are overeating. Why are you eating too much? Neither he will tell them. But devotees will say, but you only gave us. Okay, I will give, but you should not accept. So this kind of criticism he would do. One day he saw some ants coming out of Mahaprabhu's room and said, because ants are coming, Mahaprabhu must be eating sweets. Speculation. Just see. Sometimes in certain cold season, many ants are roaming here and there. Not because somebody has kept sweet inside. So, that's why he's saying he does not behave well with the devotees and even with other people. Read further.
Prakrita means new or unrefined in nature.
Yeah, neophyte, unrefined in nature. Yeah.
Now in verse 25, it will be explained that a new immature devotee gradually becomes the highest devotee.
That means even though a devotee may be crude, unrefined, immature, straightforward, and one doesn't know how to behave, but eventually one will become polished and refined over a period of time. Like for example, there was one devotee who, in one of the preaching centers, and one man came and told me that, Prabhuji, I am one of the attendees of the program in preaching center. This fellow, there is one very, very hard-working, big devotee, one leader in the congregation. So he said, Prabhuji, he is asking me to sponsor the Balram Jayanti Prasad. It is 25,000. I said, okay, you want to sponsor? I asked him. So, no, Prabhu, I can't sponsor the full amount. I can only give 5,000. He said, I said, okay, fine. Tell him that you can give only 5,000. No, Prabhuji is pushing me that I should give the entire amount myself. I said, no, you can tell him that you can only give. Just give him 5 and take a receipt. Tell him I can't give beyond that. Rest of the money can collect from others. Then he said, okay, and went. Then that big fellow came. Then I told him, Prabhu, this Grihastha devotee, he said he can only give 5,000. Take 5, balance 20, collect from others. I said. He said, no, Prabhu. He can give 25, Prabhu. He's a big man. He has a lot of money. He's conjuice. Like that he said. I said, he may have money, but you don't push him. I said. Then he went and brought him. And then he said, in front of me, he asked me, hey, can you give 25 or not? And that fellow immediately said, yes, I can give. Not at the end. I was surprised. In front of him, he says he can give. Then both of them went away. Then again that fellow came and said, Rashnapu, you are a very understanding devotee. I can only give 5, he said. Then why you didn't tell in front of him? Are samajhta nahi, Prabhuji. That's the meaning of unrefined devotee. It took me some time to explain to that fellow. Again, I called the leader and said, see, you should take only 5. He said, Rashnapu, why are you coming in between? You leave him to me, I will take it. Then I told him, see, Prabhu, he is so afraid of you that he agrees to give only because of fear of you. I said, don't be a fear to the devotees like this. Then I said, it's my order to you that you should not take 1 penny more than Then agreed. After that, he agreed. So that's the meaning of unrefined in nature. You say immature devotee. Dvishatah parakaye mam manino bhinnadarshinaha bhuteshu baddha vairasya na mana shanti mrichati. Yeah.
If a person offers respects to me, but is inimical to other beings, hating other bodies, not seeing others' suffering as equal to his own, his mind does not attain peace.
Bhinnadarshina
Vinna
means
Darshana means one who does not recognize that his own suffering is also felt the same way in others.
yeah. Actually, when the living beings think I am this body, for example, a Muslim thinks is Muslim, a Hindu thinks I am Hindu, then they look at each other and they may have aversion or hatred for each other because they identify with the bodies. So, in the same manner, you find, even the clash between religions causing riots, uh, or even within one religion also, there is upper class, lower class, people identifying with their bodies. So, and similarly in this world, even in office also, we find colleagues forming groups. This is our group, that is your group. Similarly, in a country, people form parties. We are this political party or that political party. So, in this way, when people think "meme tutu," that kind of "I am nija paroveti gananam laguchetasam," they are very very small-minded people, like a kopamanduk, like a frog in the well. Udara charitanam tu vasudha eva kutumbakam. India is leading G20. That's a very wonderful thing. Vasudha eva kutumbakam, isn't it? Whole world is filled with living beings who are all God's children, and we have to see everyone as part of one family. Don't make small groups and think we are this and you are that and things like that. So this bodily identification causes problem because of this. I heard a little interesting story regarding this. Once there was some kind of famine uh, in the central India where a big number of frogs were living, and all the frogs decided to migrate to some other place. So some frogs went to north, some went to east, some went to south, some went to west. Groups of frogs went like that. But when they went to south, the south, the frogs living in south, they said, "See, we all are green in color. We will also paint you green. Otherwise, you can't live with us. Everybody should look same color." So they painted them green. And some of the frogs who went to north, they said, "See, we are all yellow frogs, so you have to be yellow also." So they painted them yellow. Some of them went to the east. They said, "Here you're supposed to be orange," so they painted them orange. And others went to the you know west. So they said, "We are all blues. You have to be painted blue." So they painted them all blue so that they can live with those frogs which are looking like blue frogs. Correct? No. So they were all living for some time. Then they heard a good news that in central India again now the rains have started showering down. They wanted to go back to their native place. So they told bye bye to the frogs and then they left. But now when they came back, they all looked at each other, but they were of different colors now. There were blue, there were yellow, there were green and orange, all different colors. They said, "Hey," so they formed groups. "We are green frogs, we are blue frogs." They're fighting with one another. As they were fighting, the cloud showered from the sky and all their paint went away. Then they realized after the paint went, they all understood we all are similar in nature. They became friendly. So what is the meaning of this? The colors which are put on their bodies is the upadhis, designations. I am a man, I am a woman, I am a dog, or I am American, I am Indian. So when the upadhis are gone, we can see everybody as a aham bija pradapita. Krishna says, correct now, everybody is amsha of the Lord. Ame vamsha jiva loke. Everybody is similar in nature, all the souls. So if you can see the soul in each of the body, Pandita Samadarshana, if you can see like that, then we can also feel empathy for others. Empathy means to understand others' perspectives, to understand others' pains and pleasures, to be able to understand it, as if one is oneself suffering. Either one can see. Yeah. Read it?
O mother, I am not pleased with the person who criticizes other beings while worshipping my deity form with rites using various
See, he's
materials.
re-emphasizing. Similar point Krishna said, correct, not to the sages. That's why I took this section. Yeah.
Avamanina means of one who criticizes. One who criticizes others is worse than one who hates others, because it is said,
See, if you hate others, it is bad. But if you criticize, it is a hatred in action. So it is even more serious, he's saying. A person having hatred only looks like this. Like that is looks like that. But a person who speaks criticism, that is even more serious, is saying. Na tata tapyate viddaha puman banaistu marmagaihi yata tudanti marmastha hyasatam paru hyasatam parushe shavaha.
sharp arrows which pierce one's chest and reach the heart do not cause as much suffering as the arrows of harsh, insulting words spoken by materialists that become lodged within the heart. Srimad Bhagavatam 11:23.
So Karana Banair, the word is used. Vidura was insulted so badly by Duryodhana. He told, this uncle, who has eaten our salt, always favors the Pandavas and always acts against our interest. Throw him out of the palace only with his life breath. We don't want him to remain in the palace at any time. Like that he spoke. And Vidura was shocked for a moment. Hey, he is my nephew. He is my, actually in a home, in India, you all experience, if somebody is your chachaji, for example, your father's brother, you treat him just like your father. He is very highly respectable. And you will not even verbally speak anything that can hurt them. You are supposed to treat them with utmost respect. So Vidura was shocked. How can my nephew speak like this? He's speaking such harsh words. And Dhritarashtra is keeping mum. He's not taking any action also. Dhritarashtra didn't defend Vidura. And also Vidura is minister also. He's counselor of Dhritarashtra. So at that time Vidura understood the external energy is very powerfully acting on Duryodhana, the Maya Shakti. Therefore he is speaking erratic words of malediction. So let me take advantage of this opportunity to quit this Asat Sabha, the political palace where always some vicious talks go on. So let me leave this palace. So he became predominated by internal potency, Vidura, and he left the palace for a pilgrimage to see Krishna. So at that time it is at Karanabana and he felt that sharp arrow-like words. Yeah. Archada varchaye tavat ईश्वरं मां स्वकर्मकृत् यावन्न वेद स्वहृदि सर्वभूतेषु अवस्थितम्.
When a person does not know that the Lord is situated in all beings, that person should worship me in the deity form along with prescribed deities without attachment.
Yeah. So when a person does not know that Lord is situated in all beings, then that person should worship me in the deity form, which means, why do we worship Lord and the deity? As we worship Lord and the deity, with great respect, great adoration, with punctuality, with purity, with full-blown consciousness, with that consciousness worship the deity, your mind and heart become purified. And with a purified vision, when you look at the other living beings, you can see the same Lord is residing by the side of the jiva, in the heart of every living being. You get that vision. Therefore, Lord is saying, begin with worship of the deity. At the same time, don't be critical to the other jivas, because if you are critical, then you will never be able to see me in their hearts. Like that is saying. Yeah.
Since those practicing pure bhakti by their nature have pure antakaran, they generally
See,
do not
antakaran means man, buddhi, ahankar. Put together is called antakaran. Yeah.
they generally do not disrespect any living being. However, karma mishra bhaktas can disrespect other living entities.
Like Karma Mishra Bhaktas, like Indra, for example. Indra can trouble Vishwamitra, or Indra can trouble Prithu Maharaj. Because Karma Mishra means they have some material attachment along with Bhakti. Yes.
Until the impurities of antakarna no longer remain, disrespect is possible.
Yeah. The whole disrespect comes from material attachments. Therefore, so like for example, say one of us is very strongly attached to our opinion. This is the way we should do things. And you see another devotee doing in another way. Then what happens? You immediately criticize. See, he's not doing. Like I have a very strong attraction for Vedic food. We should eat only rice, dal, sabji, chapati. One devotee is eating pizza, then you criticize. Look at this fellow. He is eating pizza, pasta. You may criticize like that. Correct, no? So we have very strong attachment or opinion. Or sometimes we have very strong expectations from one another. Like sometimes a husband has too much expectation from wife, wife has too much expectation from husband. And when the expectations are not met, you are not doing the way. Like for example, there was one wife who was a very responsible wife. She wanted to manage the money properly, put in the bank and save money and everything. But the husband has hands which are having holes. Money spends very too fast. As soon as if you put any money, immediately he will. He knows how to burn out the money, how to spend out the money very easily. So they both used to have a terrible quarrel. She used to tell him, sit down, let us responsibly manage the funds of our family. And he will never sit down because he never knew how to be responsible. So there is a big fight, correct? No? Because she expects responsible behavior and he expects freedom for using money, correct? No? Then there is a big fight. So when they asked me what I said, better leave the money to your wife, I told them, because you will never save money. She is responsible and she wants to save, let she save. Because your style is very dangerous. The long run, both of you will be in the street. So in this way, expectation. Similarly, you want to control somebody, but they go and take shelter of another devotee. How you feel? What happens to you? Like you want to control a devotee and then give a punishment, and then they go and take shelter of another devotee. How do you feel? You feel happy or you angry? Very angry you feel. Yeah, you feel very angry. I want to give a punch. This fellow has escaped the punch. And correct now? My punch has come on the ground now. He has gone and taken. Yeah. Similarly, if someone insults you, you think you are a great soul and somebody insults you, you can't take it. Hey, what did you say about me? You cannot take it like Daksha Prajapati. He was walking in and everybody stood up. He was very effulgent and he thought everybody should respect him. When Shiva didn't get up, he felt insulted and then he started offending him. Correct? No? Yeah. Yeah. Or you are frustrated sometimes with, actually sometimes things don't happen and you become angry on some person. And the person says, Prabhuji, why are you angry on me? Like for example, say, I am going from here to station, but on the way, there is a heavy traffic jam, due to which I lost the train. Then I shout at my servant, what a foolish person you are, you didn't leave on time and we have lost the train. He may say that, Prabhu, I never knew today is Ramzan, such a big procession will be going on in the street. One day it happened like that. There was a Ramzan where the procession was going on. We had to stop the vehicle for a while. And after the procession went, then we reached the station. By the time train had gone. So now, whom should I blame now? It's a holy day. They are having their festival. And then we should have left on time. So sometimes we are angry about a situation and we become angry on the person. So these are 5 occasions when you become angry. You want to remember an acronym? CEOIF. If CEO. Like that you can remember. I means insult, F means frustrated, C means control, E means expectation, O means opinion. So in all the situations, you become very critical because you are attached. That's the whole problem. Read further.
When the antakaran is pure, disrespect is not possible. At that time, he should no longer perform karma with his bhakti. Swakarma krit means the person performs karma mishra bhakti in sattva guna. When the appearance of state of seeing the Lord in all beings, the person should no longer perform karma mishra bhakti since he is no longer qualified for karma. Performing jnana mishra bhakti, he should worship my deity form.
Yeah, first you have karma mishra bhakti, then jnana mishra bhakti, then you come to shuddha bhakti eventually. You will come. Yeah. Yeah.
In the former death, I give great fear to the person who makes distinction between his own belly and the bellies of others.
Yeah.
For a person who differentiates between his own stomach, udaram, and other stomachs, I appear in the form of death. One should understand that just as one has a stomach afflicted by hunger, so other people also have stomachs afflicted with hunger. If one does not understand this, he cannot surpass fear of death.
Basically, you should have empathy. That's the main problem. Yeah.
On the other hand, they should worship me, the soul in all beings, who have taken shelter in all beings with gifts and respects, treating all beings as equal friends.
Yeah. Actually, when one treats all creatures with affection, you can recite this verse. Titikshaya, Karunaya, Maitriya, Cha Akila Jantushu, Samatvena Cha Sarvatma, Bhagavan Samprasidati. So he's saying, tolerate the superiors, be friendly with the equals, be compassionate to the juniors, and be equal to all creatures. And this will please Lord Hari, he's telling. Huh? Yeah. So in this way, yeah. Okay. Most of it is over now. Shri Prabhupada ki, it's already time. You all must be very hungry for prasad. He says, hungry bellies. Huh? So,
We can take some questions.
I can take question. Only thing is, he says you should not keep devotees hungry. If any of you have to quickly go for prasad, you can carry on. I can answer questions. One or two questions I can answer. Another 5-10 minutes. 5 minutes I can answer. Anybody? So, what is the main theme we discussed today? Anybody can say in summary? A lot of purports I showed from the 3rd canto, 29th chapter. What is the main theme? Who can tell me in one line? Yes? Yes? Yeah. Huh? Yes? Yeah, Lord is not pleased when we disrespect devotees or other living entities and simply doing worship of the deity but mistreating other living beings. So Lord is not happy. That's the main thing we read. And this is very close to what Krishna is telling in that place, Kurukshetra. While speaking to Brahmins, is telling that actually if somebody comes to a tirtha, simply doing rituals but not respecting Vaishnavas and Brahmanas and then not hearing from them and disregarding them, not taking them seriously. Correct, no? So, in this way, he says that then a person is a foolish person, he says. Yeah. Actually, now the world has become so changed. People have lost the sanskara so much that many people do not know properly also how to treat uh, the people in the saintly order also. Like, like one time we had gone to one house, they had this dog roaming all around the house, coming and sitting in the sofa, sitting here, sitting there. They want to talk to a saint. Then you should actually go and tie the dog somewhere and sit and hear, isn't it? Uh, and when somebody comes, you give some fruits, or you give some, even if you give some 50 rupees, 100 rupees, something one should give to the person, and then you bow down. Many people don't know the small etiquettes also. Very, very. Actually, how I came to know this, I go to distribute Bhagavatam. Anyone who calls me to their house for taking Bhagavatam, I will go. So one house I went, I asked, where is the puja room? They don't have puja room only. Husband and wife are both IT engineers. They don't have any puja room. They said, no, we don't have one. They were saying, okay, can get a picture of Krishna, I said. They looked all around. It was all scenic beauty in different pictures. They had lot of pictures of themselves only. All faces in different poses. And that's all they had in all the rooms. They were running around and they were feeling. And the husband was asking me, can you keep one of the books only for the picture? Then from that time on, what I started doing, I started carrying Radha Chandra with me, lamination. But then when I carry the lamination and keep it and worship, and I'm about to leave, they will ask me, can we keep it with ourselves? It looks very nice. Then we started carrying many, many laminations. one house. Okay, one house you worship and tell them now one words every day. Sit in front of them and chant. Correct, no? Because they don't know the basic things also nowadays. Times have changed so much. People are so, yeah. They may be earning monthly. They may earn 2 lakh, 4 lakh rupees. They may earn, but when someone comes home, they don't give 100 rupees also. On the other hand, I remember. I will tell you one example. When I was traveling in one of the villages, one Balaji temple I saw from a distance. I asked the devotees, hey, one temple I am seeing the Gopuram. Gopuram, many of the Balaji pastimes were there. I said, take me there, let us take darshan. So we went, exactly it was Balaji, life-size Balaji temple. Beautiful temple. I offered worship. Offered obeisances and circumambulated. And there were like almost 120, 150 people sitting in that big hall. People are sitting. So the pujari came to me running and said, Swamiji, you came at the right time. He said, I said, what is the matter? You know, we are supposed to have some talk for them. I am not used to giving talks. I only chant mantras. You know, if you can, it will be nice if you can speak to them. They are all Marathi speaking. He said, you can speak in Hindi, he said. So I asked him how much time. He said 1 hour. He said, I spoke Samudra Manthan elaborately. I spoke. And who are the audience? They were all old men and old women. They may be around 70 to 80, 85 in that age group. They were all village people. After the session was over, many of these ladies came and gave 50 paise, 1 rupee. Some of them gave 2 rupees, some of them gave 5 rupees, some of them gave 10 rupees. Some of them were wearing costly saris. They came and gave 100 or 200. They gave like that. I collected all the money and gave it to Pujari of the temple. He was very happy because many of the temples may not be supported so much. Some temples, they keep a big hundi and put hundi. They put, you have seen that? Big letter. As if people don't have eyes to see. You have seen very big letters they put. You have seen that? Big box, but money will be in one corner in that. Because many people don't know when you come to temple, you should give something to God. Prabhupada says when you come to temple, bring some fruits, bring some flowers, put a coin. One should be coming in what mode? Taking mode or giving mode? Giving mode, one should come. So these old ladies, they are all poor ladies, poor men. They gave, altogether the money I gathered must be maybe 1,000, 2,000 rupees probably, I think. I gave it to the pujari and I went. But what I want to tell you was look at the culture, the kind of culture they have in the villages even now. Probably it's coming from their ancestors, they know. And in city you go, in IT parks, there are houses even which don't have kitchen also. In Hyderabad, the IT park has big tower, husband, wife are living, no kitchen. I asked them, how do you eat? They said, we have mess below. Wife comes, eats and goes to job. Husband comes, eats and goes to job. And in the house, they don't have. So there is no cooking, there is no serving, there is no interaction between family members. Then how will affection develop? And that's why people divorce also. You can see that. So therefore, what we learnt about is the culture of respecting and not unnecessarily being critical. We elaborately discussed it today. I think it's very relevant to devotee communities anywhere. Because when a devotee community is very relatively young, people are very respectful in the beginning. They're very affectionate, respectful, friendly. They work together, struggle together, everything. But when the devotees come to 16 rounds and get initiated, and as the community proceeds, then these problems starts after that. Because then they start becoming overly familiar with each other. At that time, and also there is a competition or rivalry for prominence, for fame, for popularity, or domination. I will lead and you follow. Like one time somebody wanted to lead Mangalarti. So he said, Prabhuji, I wanted to lead, they aren't allowing me. I said, why do you want to lead? Why don't you follow? Both are singing the same song only. Correct? But he said, no, Prabhuji, that fellow is singing into the mic. I have to sing away from the mic. There's a strong tendency to lead. See, you go to any temple, you ask them, Prabhu, can I wash pots? What they will say? Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, can I sweep the floor? Thank you, they will say. Prabhuji, can I take some books and go and distribute? What they will say? Wonderful. But you go and say, Prabhu, can I render service by giving a Bhagavatam class? They will say, wait a minute, who are you? Isn't it? Prabhu, can I lead Guru Puja? Wait a minute, they will say. So, therefore, we should be willing to render meaningful service rather than want to lead. So, when communities become little grown up, lot of 16 order initiatives, then these problems come. So, therefore, I spoke from Kapila's section today. Very relevant for all communities. It's relevant to every temple. And if we take care about this, then we can please the Supreme Lord. Because when you are attentive, when you respect the devotees, Lord becomes very pleased. with us, and then He will bless us and He will help us enhance our consciousness, and we won't remain in immature or kacha consciousness. We'll get pakka consciousness. Shri Prabhupada ki, Granthar Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you. Oh, acha, I answered already, no? I didn't answer it. Acha, I didn't ask only. Okay. What was the question?
Hare Krishna.
Acha, he summarized the sentence. Yeah?
Thank you, bro, for the class. One of my question was when you were telling that we have our own conceptions or we want to do something, but others do something in different way. Then criticism comes. But Prabhuji, in that somewhere, sometimes there is some truth that we have heard something from our superiors or Srila Prabhupada.
And he might have heard something else also.
Uh,
Because, like Prabhupada says, for example, women should churn butter, women should clean the house, they should know how to cook. One letter Prabhupada says. Another Prabhupada says, our women should be taught to become like lawyers in studying our books and defending our philosophy by preaching vigorously and distributing my books, Prabhupada says. Which one is true? Prabhupada says both.
so that in that situation, what we should do
Ah,
if criticism
so Prabhupada says this distributing books and everything for the city Matajis, those who are living in city. And those who are living in farm, Prabhupada says, let them churn the butter, let them tend to the children, let them learn cleaning and cooking and everything. So that means one has to see the context, Desh Kal Patra, in which Prabhupada has said. So therefore, one should not try to vehemently attack another devotee having another opinion without getting a whole picture. So what you can tell the devotee, Prabhu, let us both go to your senior and check about it. Like that you can say. All right, now that makes it more smoother. Huh? Thank you. Hare Krishna.